Everybody trying to be content creators and trying to go viral. You want to go viral?
Okay, you want to go viral. Let's go viral then.
Say less.
Let go.
Let's embrace it. Let's love it. Let's enjoy it. And let's give them the experience of their life. That's Roswell for you, baby. Come together. And guys, this is Speaking Out Loud. I appreciate you guys joining us. Don't forget to share and dance like you just don't care. It's early in the morning. Let's have a day. And like I said, be a friend. Tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Shout out PMS.
Everything sound good? Mic check. Yeah. Okay. Ravens. Ravens. Well, you said Lions. I think you're talking. I think you're referring to last week, but this week we got the Ravens. Ravens. Uh, Baltimore. Obviously, you got the two-headed monster in the backfield. Um, you got to stop those guys up front. So if our front seven can be active and we can come with a game plan to keep Lamar in the pocket, he hasn't been. I don't want to say he's not elusive. but he hasn't been as elusive this year, and he's took a lot of sacks. He's got a lot of negative plays. So if we can be active in the front, be creative, keep him in the pocket, and force him to make these throws in the pocket, I think we got a good chance. And just pressure him, just pressure, contain on the outside, and I think our guys can do that. Grenard and Van Ginkel. I mean, obviously nobody talks about it enough. Blake Cashman was on missed like 4 or 5 games, right? Our middle linebacker, coverage guy, sideline to sideline type of guy, and then Andrew Van Ginkel, who was arguably an All-Pro last year. He had a concussion and then neck injury in that Bears game, week 1. And we got those guys back last week. That was a huge difference. Nobody talks about that. I mean, Van Ginkel's one of probably the most underrated edge rushers I've seen, and he can do everything: rush the passer, play in coverage. He reads, like, you can't run a screen pass on his side because he blows it up. Like, I don't know, I've never seen that before, but he's very aware. He knows what's going on. He's a really freak athlete, man, and it's good to have him back. And then Cashman, sideline to sideline. Eric Wilson, another middle linebacker, veteran guy that we brought back. He was on the Packers a couple years ago, but Brian Flores just knows how to use these guys, and that's what gives us an advantage. So I think good chance. It's going to be tough.
Been a long road back. Nobody wants to be on the grass more than you, but this team will ride with you. All right, ride with you. You're going to break us down. You're going to break us down. Been a long road back. Nobody wants to be on the grass more than you, but this team will ride with you. All right, ride with you. You're going to break us down. You're going to break us down.
I just don't think you know the guy. I don't know if so. Ben's commenting. I don't know if I'm having bad audio. You can hear me, right? Yeah. Okay, can you hear me? Do I sound good? I'm good. Okay, I'm good. Okay. I'm not sure what's going on over there, but first of all, I just don't think. See, look, we're getting another no sound. Um, Oh, okay, okay, okay. So I just don't think people calling that cringe and stuff like that. I don't think they know um, the type of player that JJ McCarthy is, the type of dog he is. Like I understand it might be cringe, but you see Baker do this stuff. You see a couple other guys in the league that show emotion, and they don't call that cringe. It's because it's a rookie quarterback. A lot of people don't follow college football. They don't understand, but like everybody that's reporting on it that knows this kid says that he's a dog and he's got that mentality, and it looks like he could commit murder the hour before gameplay, right? And this is his mentality. And I would rather have this type of emotion than just a quarterback that's just going to be, emotionless the whole time. I love it. I don't know. I don't see how it's cringe, because if it was cringe, I feel like that locker room obviously would see right through it. These guys aren't stupid. These are grown men, right? They're gonna see through that. Like, come on, dude. If it's an act, if it's a show, like people are comparing this to Russell Wilson. This is not
Hey,
Russell Wilson. Like, what, dude? He's not saying, I don't know, man. He's not with the corny lines, the corny one-liners, and this and that, dude. Like, he's a dog, a football player, and he makes, like, I would be hyped too. Like, you're making game-winning plays, you're making crucial throws throughout the game as his third start. Like, this guy is essentially a rookie in his third start, making plays on 3rd and 5 to seal the game. Perfect throws. I mean, I don't see how it's cringe. People, I think that's just the personality that he is, and people don't know about it. People just don't know about it. Like, he turns into a
it's
different
still
dog. Like for me, I'm pretty chill throughout the day, but like when I'm in the gym and it's like that time and I'm feeling it that day, my mindset goes to a different spot. Like, don't talk to me, don't do this, don't do that. Like, I'm in my zone, and like sometimes I just feel like just yelling, just shutting down the whole gym and just going crazy. Like, I don't know. Like, sometimes you just, I don't know, man. That might be cringe, but but it's mindset, bro. You're a leader, man. I don't know how you can't like it. You're just a hater. I think you're just a hater. Like, if you think it's cringe, because I think that's just the type of dude that he is, and the fact that grown men are not calling that out. They know JJ. Those guys, his locker room, his teammates, they know him. I don't think that's an to the outside world. Yeah, if you're going against the line, I've been seeing it all against like the Lions, Packers. They comment on Twitter. They say, "Oh, this is the cringiest shit ever." Blah blah. Well, dude, like, look at your quarterback. Look at Jared Goff. Is he doing that stuff after game? Is Jordan Love doing this stuff after game? No. Like, this is our quarterback. I'd rather
think
take this than anything else.
no, yeah, for sure. I and it all comes down to, like, this is all fun, right? And it all
Yeah,
comes down to, do you win? Like, this stuff is
exactly.
cool when you're winning. When you see things like this, it's like, hell yeah, that's my guy. Then it becomes cringe when you start losing. But also, you got to be authentically yourself. So I think he's just expressing exactly who he is, and I'm locked in. I feel like this team can actually go in and win this weekend. All the noise that was being talked about JJ McCarthy before the season, or not before the season, but after he got hurt, we were starting to raise the flags. Like, what is KC doing? KOC doing? Why is he still trying out um, Carson Wentz, so on and so forth? And obviously, he's a little bit smarter than most of us, right? Saving him for the run that the Vikings are about to go on. Hopefully, for the sake of this show, we need it. But JJ McCarthy, all eyes are on you. If this is the character that you're going to be, cool. We're all in. But now you got to go out there and win. You got to duplicate what you did last week and some, and go out there and beat a hungry Baltimore Ravens team.
Yep.
J-
That'd be a huge
hey,
win.
JB, I don't know what's in the air right now. I don't know if it's the change of the season, but this morning I woke up a little raspy. The throat's a little sore. Nose is a little drippy, so I apologize if anybody hears my this the or whenever I get a little in the throat, but I appreciate you guys rocking with us this morning. Don't forget, you can call in. Let us know how you feel. Let us know what your expectations for your team is this weekend. Also, are you struggling in fantasy? Maybe don't know which direction to go. Well, allow us to inform you and maybe help you lean in a certain way. Not necessarily make the decision for you, but at least give you scenarios to where it can clear up the mind on who you should start and who you should possibly sit. That would be at 575-808-9307. JB, did you hear me? I don't know if my audio cut off there, but if you didn't, let me remind you, it's 575-808-9307. That would be speaking out loud. But JB, tonight's game, you got the Denver Broncos and the formerly known Oakland Raiders, now known as the Las Vegas Raiders. rough matchup. It feels like these Thursday night games as the season goes. The schedulers are like, damn, the season is not going how we anticipated it whatsoever. I'm sure whenever they started before the season, when they were putting these games together, and they thought, wow, the Las Vegas Raiders got Pete Carroll, Geno Smith. Oh boy, watch out, Jacoby Myers, which is now gone from the Raiders. He requested a trade, and they finally granted his wish, got him up out of there. But you're looking at a 2-6 Raiders team going against a 7-2 Denver Broncos team, a Broncos team that seems to can't put four quarters together to save their life. But this feels like one of those games, a get right game for the Denver Broncos to boost them over the hill that they are currently at. It's like, I don't know. I guess they're still trending up, right? You got to assume they're trending up. They got a defense that's keeping them in games. They will be without Patrick Surtain again this weekend, but still feels like a get right game for me, JB. What are your expectations from the Denver Broncos, even though they're favored by 9.5 points? Like, Vegas has no respect for the Raiders tonight. What are your expectations?
Yeah,
Go
I
Judge
don't
Football.
think. I think with the 9.5 spread, what was the stat line? Because the Vikings were 9.5 underdogs last week. I think that stat line is like 1-10, and last week it was 2-2. Like, not a lot of teams can cover that sort of spread, 9.5. So I don't know. It's a division game.
So
Um,
disrespectful.
it's a little bit disrespectful. I think it might be a little bit closer. That's a game where it's like, okay, because Broncos are coming into this game, they're playing the Raiders. Oh, well, who do they got next week? Right? The Kansas City Chiefs, I believe. So
Yeah.
this could be a trap game. It's a Thursday night game. You got a short week to prepare. Guys are still trying to recover a little bit. So this game could be interesting. It could be really interesting. So I guess we'll see how it plays out. But obviously, Raiders get rid of Jacoby Myers, take him to the Jaguars, send him off to the Jaguars. Brock Bowers is going to get a lot of looks this game, a lot of targets. What are they going to do defensively to keep him in check? That's a big thing. You don't want to get the running game going. Ashton Genty, he's been pretty steady after kind of a slow start. He's been pretty steady lately. And Geno Smith, you never know what you're going to get. I mean, I would probably bet that he throws an interception because he's got the most in the league. So I don't know. But as far as the Broncos, I think the Broncos, obviously, the trade deadline, they didn't make no moves. I don't think they needed to make moves. I think the roster around them is pretty stacked. I know they inquired about Jalen Waddle, but the Dolphins were asking for a first.
Oh,
Oh, phone call.
let me
Uh-oh.
pause. You got a phone call. Let's hear it out. Speaking out loud, what's your name and what would you like to talk about?
Hey, it's your boy Santi, man. Raiders
Something.
catching the dub versus the Broncos tonight.
Oh, we're feeling
a
good. What's the energy from the Raider fans?
Prediction right now, it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be 17-14 Raiders.
17-14 Raiders. I appreciate the call, Santi. Let us dig into this Raiders team right now.
Brock Bowers is going to replicate what he did last week, but we catching the dub this week.
Atta baby, let's go Raiders. Let's appreciate you, Santi. Have a great day, brother. Well, Raider fans feel optimistic. They're still alive. They're technically not out of the playoff race. So why not? Why not come into this game just a little bit confident? I'm hoping Santi's coffee tastes just a little bit better. Just he was a little bit more enthusiastic as he took that first sip when he realized, oh wow, guess who we still have, Borba? We still have Max Crosby. So what does that mean? We still have an opportunity. JB, there's this cool little stat that I just read here. Geno Smith is tied for the second highest success rate against the blitz at 55.3%. This season, despite being pressured on 51% of blitzes or of dropbacks, he's ranked the sixth highest. A team that loves to send the house, a team that likes to put their cornerbacks on an island because they have the backs to do it. But with Patrick Surtain out, does that raise a level of concern? Now, when I look at this and think about it just a little bit more, I'm like, maybe this is a close game. Maybe this is a trap game, like you said. Maybe they are overlooking the Raiders because they got the Kansas City Chiefs that they got to look ahead for. I don't know, JB. I do like that. I do like that Geno Smith loves the blitz, bring the house, and allow me to chop y'all down. So maybe Brock Bowers does have a hell of a game today, and maybe the Raiders can bring a little bit of disappointment to a lot of Denver Broncos fans
Here's
this
one of the
weekend. Go ahead.
things. Here's one of the things. The Broncos are leading the league in sacks by a wide margin, and I don't think their blitz rate is very high. Like they're getting in Nick Bodino, Zach Allen. These guys are getting in without having to send a blitz, without having to send a rush. So they're going to have a little bit more guys in coverage. So I think that's going to help the Broncos end on that sort of thing. Geno Smith, does he make a maybe force a turnover, something like that? Because Geno Smith is trigger happy. We all know that. Like he will turn the ball over. That's one of his big downfalls is that he's going to turn the ball over. So I would expect at least a turnover. I mean, I would probably bet that. I would probably bet that Geno Smith throws an interception.
Gosh, that's tough. That I do see this right here. Geno Smith has thrown at least 2 interceptions in 3 games this season, tied for the most in the NFL. Smith is
Yeah,
also tied for the league. He's also tied for the league lead in total interceptions this season. The Broncos defense has only recorded 4 interceptions this season, but leads the NFL with 43.5% pressure rate, according to Next Gen Stat.
yeah, a lot of sacks. A lot of sacks.
Hey, this might be a good game. This
I
might
think
be
it
a
might
good
be.
game because we're
I think it might be. And because they had a chance to beat the Jaguars, they should have beat the Jaguars last week. I mean, if that ball doesn't get swatted down for that 2-point conversion, dude's wide open. I don't know who he was throwing to in the back of the end zone, but he was wide open. That's a catch and score. They stand there, they win the game. All of a sudden, they're 3-5 going into this game. While this could be a possible trap game for Denver, so I think this game's going to be a little bit closer. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than what people are thinking. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. It shouldn't be a blowout. As long as Geno Smith can take care of the ball and that offense can stay moving, I think the defense, because right now, everything around Bo Nix looks really good. It's just Bo
yes,
Nix
yes.
needs to join the party, essentially, at this point. And he's just been a little bit inaccurate. He's not too great in the pocket. His timing's been off a little bit all year. His arm strength is a little bit of a concern on some of these throws, and that was his not coming out of college. So, um, can Bo Nix catch up? Can he make some strides? Because that's kind of the only thing holding this team back from being like really good,
Yeah,
actually contenders. So,
you know, Bo Nix feels like he's like the he's the 17-year-old in the friend group that has the late birthday. So he can't necessarily do all the fun stuff that the 18-year-old friends can do just yet because he's still 17. He's got to go get the fake ID thing. Come on, bud. We're waiting for your birthday, and your birthday could be today, because today feels like it feels like a get right game for you. We're looking at Bo Nix. Bo Nix mark right now is over under is set at 215. Bo Nix has thrown for at least 215 yards, passing 4 times this season, all coming in the last 6 games. The Broncos are 4-0 when Nix reaches the 215-yard passing threshold. Knicks averaged 239.5 passing yards in 2 games against the Raiders last season, who are currently allowing 224 passing yards per game, 21st in the NFL. I mean, just reading all this stuff is telling me what? It's telling you Bo Nix should have himself a day. But will he? And after this game, now the question will turn, depending on the results, right? The question will turn, and it might get pretty loud at Bo Nix if he can't come out and at least look decent. At the bare minimum, decent. Continue to give this team hope, because the last thing you want to do is to get the pressure pointed directly at you and you be the cause and the reason for a team that is Super Bowl built, and you be the reason that it's being held back. That's going to be tough. Tough look. It's going to be a tough look on him and Sean Payton. Sean Payton's supposed to be the quarterback guru, right? So we are going to criticize Sean Payton based off of the product that he's putting out, because it is his quarterback. It was his choice. He ran out Russell Wilson, let's ride, out of town specifically for this reason. So now, hey, now it's up to you, Sean Payton. And now it's up to you, Bo Nix. This game is solely on them. But JB, one of my biggest questions for the Raiders, and then we can move on from here, is what the hell is going on with Ashton Genty, and how come we aren't using him as much as we should? How come this guy is not getting 25 to 30 touches a game? Well, let's listen to Chip Kelly. Which also, how the hell does Chip Kelly still have a job in the NFL? One season with the Philadelphia Eagles. And if you remember correctly, that's whenever the whole option reads, quarterback running, Buddy had Michael Vick at the time. That's when all that was kind of being introduced to the NFL. So, of course, you always see like a Cinderella story, we would like to say, where a team comes in with a new scheme or a new look, and they're successful for a year. And then you give them a year, there's a bunch of film, and those boys figure it out. So let's see what Chip Kelly had to say.
Rushing, doesn't he? And carry. So I think everything we do game plan wise is about winning that game. So it's not about how many gets how many touches. Maybe some fantasy people are a little disturbed, but we're not coaching for fantasy people, so we're just trying to win games. So I don't, that's not. I mean, he's our number one back, and when we're running the ball, he's running the football. So, and I think you saw him a little bit in the past game the other day, and he's starting to evolve in that, and trying to get him more involved in that way. So, he's continuing to grow. He's doing a heck of a job. Really excited that we have him.
No. Hold on, let's listen to this part one more time real quick.
So we're just trying to win games. So
we're just trying to win games. One more time. Let me listen to that. One more. Let me just make sure I'm listening to this correctly.
We're not coaching for fantasy people, so we're just trying to win games. So I don't, that's not.
We're not coaching for fantasy people. We're coaching to win games. Well, Chip Kelly, I hate to be the one to tell you how to do your job because you're a lot more qualified than me or my guy here on the right side of me, JB. You don't need to do it for fantasy people. You just need to use common sense. Common sense says Ashton Genty is the best player on your offense, and you aren't giving him the ball. Why? Your answer can't be because I'm not doing it for fantasy owners. I'm doing it to win. When you say you're trying to win, but you're not getting your best player the ball, make that make sense. We're not idiots. We aren't idiots. Chip Kelly is got to go. I think this might have been the worst hire in the NFL this year or of all time. I don't know how we didn't look at this or how we bypassed this hire just because of Pete Carroll and Tom Brady. What has Chip Kelly done in the league for us to think that the offense for the Las Vegas Raiders was going to change? What has he done, JB, that makes us think that guy was going to change that offense in Oakland? Sorry, in Vegas. The lack of respect that we have for this team right now because of guys like him. Who's winning tonight?
For me, I feel like I'd have to take the Broncos. Just overall, they're just the better team overall. I think this year is a year where obviously Pete Carroll comes in, right? Culture guy, brings in someone that he knows, Geno Smith, and it's not working out to the Raiders' best. As good as they thought it was going to work. I think next year they're definitely buyers when it comes to a quarterback and drafting a young quarterback and developing him. Now you got to have the right pieces to develop him correctly. I don't know if Chip Kelly is that guy on the offensive side, but there could definitely be a little bit better of play callers offensively for the Raiders. So I'm not sure what happens. Maybe Chip Kelly keeps his job. I'm not too sure. But I do think that they're definitely in the market to get one of these young QBs next year in the draft, and they're going to develop those guys, and they're going to do what they got to do. Because Geno Smith, yes, he had a bounce back career, all this kind of stuff, but he's kind of fizzled out. He's turnover happy, and that's a big issue. That's not going to win you games, turning the ball over as much as he does every game. So that's the one thing I think holding the Raiders back. Their defense has steadily improved as the weeks gone by. I think they're a competitive team. It's just I think they are missing a couple pieces for sure. But this is, like I said, it's a trap game. This is a very close game. I expect it to be pretty closer than what people think. So we'll see how it turns out. But I think the Broncos pull it off. They should pull it off. This is a game that the Broncos should win. But it is also a classic trap game. So they got to show up.
I'm going to take the Broncos to win in a close game raise a couple eyebrows, pointing fingers at the offense for the Denver Broncos. But hey, Bo Nix, let's ride. Let's ride. Today's the day. Let's ride. Raider fans haven't drafted a QB in round 1 since Jamarcus Russell. It's time to go to the draft. That would be a little salt in the wound. It's a little bit of trauma, a little childhood trauma for the Raiders there with Jamarcus Russell. Don't want to make that mistake again, right? All right, you got the Atlanta Falcons and the Indianapolis Colts after a massive trade getting Sauce Gardner heading over to Berlin for an early game, 7:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time kickoff time for us. That one's gonna be tough to catch that one, especially with the way the Atlanta Falcons are playing. But but potential gets you fired, JB. We're looking at a Colts team right now that's averaging 32 points a game, 6.5-point favorites. Sauce Gardner's playing, so we're gonna be able to see the new look on that defense. He was in a concussion protocol whenever he came over from the Jets, but it seems like everything is going to be fine. He was at practice. The team is juiced up. It seems like it seems like the locker room is excited about this move, and it seems like a lot of them got their eyes locked on the Super Bowl. JB, how are we feeling about this Colts team this weekend?
I mean, that Sauce Gardner move puts a lot of pressure on not only the front office, but Daniel Jones. This is more pressure on Daniel Jones. And we don't know, obviously Daniel Jones, he's on a hot streak. Kind of like compared to what Sam Darnold was on last year. Like, is this really who Daniel Jones is now? That's the big question. Can he sustain this? Can he play? I know last week was a little bit of a struggle, whatever. I think that stuff happens to any quarterback. So you gotta find out if Daniel Jones, is this just a hot streak, or is this really Daniel Jones? Is he going to be still projecting upwards? So that's going to be a big thing you got to find out. But I think because this team's so juiced, because because of that Sauce trade, I think they come out and they do have an edge over the Atlanta Falcons. I think they beat them this game.
Yeah, let me read you this, JB. Jonathan Taylor has forced a missed tackle on 35.7% of his carries, the highest mark among 33 running backs this season, with a minimum of 75 carries. Taylor has 56 missed tackles forced, 10 more than the next closest running back, and that running back being McCarthy out there in San Francisco. I mean, this team moves as Jonathan Taylor moves. I know there's a lot of pressure um, on Daniel Jones there, like you said, but all this pressure gets relieved by one guy. And to me, it's the guy that should be the head of the MVP conversation. That would be Mr. JT, number 28, Jonathan Taylor. I think this team kind of instills their will, reminds us that I don't know if they necessarily need to remind us with the 7-2 record, but there's been a lot of questions on this team about them being soft, about them, about Daniel Jones kind of going back to the New York Giants, Daniel Jones as of last week. But Jonathan Taylor can ease up the workload for everyone on this team. So just run the ball behind Jonathan Taylor, and I think the Colts are going to be just fine out there in Berlin. I got the Colts winning. Who you got?
I'll take the Colts.
Hell yeah, baby. You got New Orleans Saints heading over to the Carolina Panthers, where they finally get their quarterback back. A Panthers team that's only averaging 18 points per game, 5.5-point favorites. What do you think, JB? Who's winning?
I think if you can establish the ground game with the Panthers and then the defense that they've been playing, I think they can win this game. So Saints just got rid of a deep ball threat in Rashid Shaheed, so that's kind of a bummer on their end. So they really got no explosive playmakers right now. So
Just Chris Olave.
yeah, that's about it. And he's not really a guy to take the top off of the defense. So I think it's going to be tough sledding for the Saints. I think the Panthers, they can keep this momentum, and it's crazy. But the Panthers, if they go 6-4, I mean, this is a team that's going to disrupt the playoff picture for sure. And it's for teams trying to get in, for teams hanging around the wild card, it's one of those games where you're just like, man, this is a big game for the Panthers. Probably one of their biggest games in a few years, to be honest. To put them
Yeah.
above
And
500,
it's a divisional game.
Nobody thought that.
Divisional
You know
game.
what?
They
Actually,
are
I
at
thought
home.
that. I thought that. You know why? I drafted Bryce Young in my fantasy team. In one of my leagues, dude. I said that this offense was going to turn around. I said there was momentum at the end of last year. Remember, we were kind of talking about it when the season as the dark horse. We can find that clip. And the Panthers. Hey, I think I got a prediction right. They're turning into a dark horse of the NFC, like a team that's going to get some upset wins. A team that's already got 5 wins on the year. I mean, their last 2 years, I think they totaled up like 5 wins. So I
Yeah.
I think I kind of hit on that one. Shoot.
Yeah, for sure.
Now
And
that
you
I
know
think
what's
about
made
it,
life easy for them? What's made life easy for them in Carolina is Rico Dowdle, man. What a
yeah.
stud coming from Dallas. Was doubted but never forgotten, and now he's averaging over 150 yards a game from the last couple weeks. They got the Saints this week, and then the following week they got the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, it's
Wow.
wide open for them, right? If you're a Cowboys fan,
You
you're
blew them out.
definitely rooting for the Saints to win this game. We need the Panthers to lose for us to sneak into a wild card if we're going to start our run of destiny for the Dallas Cowboys. But the Saints, Falcons, Niners, Rams, it's definitely possible for this team to sneak into the playoffs. But I think if you're a Carolina Panthers fan, you feel optimistic about the future. You feel like you finally got the wheels turning. And you're not on a donut tire. You're on 4 brand new Michelin tires, baby. It must feel good as a Carolina Panthers fan for the future. For the future. And possibly, hey, right now you're having a good time. You're having a good time because you're like, hey, my expectations was probably getting over 7 wins, and now this Carolina team might be playing for a playoff spot. Ooh, if I'm a Panthers fan, I'm feeling good. And Bryce Young looks like not a bust. Bryce Young looks like what they were talking about whenever he was coming out of college. I'm going to agree with you though here. I'm going to say that the Carolina Panthers continue their winning, although I am kind of hoping for them to lose because, of course, like I said, for the sake of the Dallas Cowboys. Um, you got the New York Giants heading over to Chicago. Chicago kind of wishy-washy right now, 50-50 with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, but 5-3 team sitting at number 8 in the NFC. JB, is this a team? I mean, is this a game that we should really pay attention to? Maybe close, maybe not. What's your expectation here?
Well, it is playoff implications now for the Bears. So if they win this game, you go to 6-3. You're hanging around that wild card spot, the 7th wild card seed. So I feel like you got to win this game. Bears need to win this game. Giants just aren't there yet. They got some flashes of what they could
They're
be.
just so hurt.
Yeah, they're too
They're
banged up.
just so hurt.
And right now, the Bears they have some momentum. They're a little up and down, but they got to win this game. Like I don't want them to win, but I think they should win this game. Like unless Jackson Dart is kind of puts his team on his back, if he can make some plays and keep them around, then you never know what's going to happen. So I would love the Giants to get an upset win right here, but I wouldn't put my money on the Bears, but I will take the Bears in this game.
Okay, I like that. I agree with you too. I think if you're a Giants fan, you just kind of want to come out healthy. You should, as the rest of the season goes, you kind of just want to come out healthy, and you just want Jackson Dart to get as many reps as he can. You don't really judge that team right now in any way outside of what the flashes that we already seen with Cam Scadaboo, and then obviously we know what Malik Neighbors is. So we just with that team, you just kind of be patient. New York, just be patient. Let's see how it plays out. I'm sure there's a lot of other things that you're just kind of seeing to see how they play out there in New York, but this one specifically, be patient. Right now, if you're New York, you just want to play spoiler. So you just want to be in games so that way you can keep cheeks tight and then a sigh of relief, a sigh of just joy that, hey, next year, this team next year can possibly go on a run, especially in the NFC East division that seems to always be wide open. But I'm going to agree with you there too, JB. I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears to win that game. The Jacksonville Jaguars are going over to Houston to face a division rival where our boy CJ is out. CJ's out due to that concussion, due to what some people are calling a dirty hit. If you watch the replay, I don't know if it was dirty. It's just probably bad timing. But stuff like that's going to happen when you got a running quarterback. And as of the way the NFL is going, it seems like everybody can absolutely run. So once you get past that line, you got to think of you're no longer a quarterback. You are at that point a running back. So take care of yourself. Even when you slide, buddy, you might get hit with the ricochet shot. So keep your head on a swivel. Texans, what's crazy here is that even without their quarterback, Dougie Mills is getting start, and Jacksonville's still only a 1.5 point favorite. Why is that? Why do you think that Vegas doesn't think that this Jacksonville team can go over to Houston with Dougie Mill as their starting quarterback and not go out there and get this win? Maybe is it because D'Amico in that defense? What is it, JB?
I think it's the inconsistency on the offense in Jacksonville. You don't know what you're going to get week to week with that offense. Trevor Lawrence is up and down. And then that defense has honestly kept the Texans afloat, or else they would be down bad right now. I think I would have to take the Jaguars in the game just because you have a backup QB. Houston's running out there without CJ Stroud. Just when you thought they were going to catch some momentum and get a couple wins under the belt. I mean, Houston could have won that game last week, So it's just it was unfortunate. CJ Stroud going down. I think their season is toast now because he's going to miss a game or two. He missed the second half of last week's game, so a game that they could have won, and that would have been huge for them. And then this game would have been even more huge, to get back in the playoff race, to be actually contenders in December. So I just think the Jaguars are a little bit more healthy. I would take the Jaguars right now.
Yeah, I agree with you too. This game, man, Trevor Lawrence, come on. Let's find a little bit of consistency. Last week the offense puts up 30 points, but then the week before that against the Rams, they dropped 7. Before that they dropped 12, and then they hit you with the 31 points the week before that. Like, just give us some level of consistency. I do feel bad for the Texans cuz you're probably right. It seems like their season might be over, especially with CJ Stroud going out. Like, this would have been one of those games where it's like, hey, if we get one, we're right back in the playoff picture. But this might be a setback. But hey, you never know. This is definitely one of those games where you're kind of like, all right, Jacksonville, you can't play with your food here. If you play with your food, you might get got. You might get got. I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars as well. You got Buffalo Bills heading over to a beat up Miami team, a team that probably should have sold the majority of that team or traded the majority of that team before that trade deadline on Tuesday. Uh, I see I see no hope here. As I close my eyes, I just see I see violence being imposed on this Miami team at home in Florida. I think the Buffalo Bills go out there and just hang 40 on them, and we start ramping up the whole MVP conversation for Josh Allen. I think that starts to ramp up after this game. That would be the storyline for me coming out of this game. What's the storyline for you coming out of this matchup?
Yeah, for sure. I think with what's going on right now, Dolphins were pretty much sellers. I don't think they could get the right deals in place for them to get rid of some more guys. Because I think that was the plan, but they were asking for too much apparently. So I think right now the Bills are really really good at running the ball. James Cook, he's cooking. I think you got to keep giving him the ball. I think and the Dolphins have a hard time stopping the run. Um, they cannot stop the run to save themselves. And what does Buffalo do really good? They run the ball very good. They have a defense that's getting better week by week. Their secondaries actually plays really good defense. So I Bills 100%. They're putting up 30 plus in this game. I think they win. I think they get
Hey,
to
this
get.
might surprise you. But let me read this to you, JB. The Bills have been effective when sending 4 or fewer rushers this season, generating a 37.4% pressure rate, second highest in the NFL. Second highest in the NFL, and 9.4% sack rate, third highest in the NFL. I feel like we've seen this before. I feel like we've seen this Buffalo defense where they're kind of bend but don't break type team, and we've seen how that's ended. I hope they can really ramp it up. But most importantly, like I said, my storyline is the MVP conversation for Josh Allen really, really ramps up, and this is a layup. This is like it's set up for a Josh Allen MVP conversation. But yep, I'm gonna go with you as well. Buffalo over Miami. Baltimore, and Minnesota. We covered that at the very beginning of the show. For the sake of the show, I'm gonna ride with you. I'm gonna I'm riding with you, JB. We have to. We have to, for the sake of the show. One of our teams have to be good, JB. And
Skull, baby. Huge game. If we can win this game, this trajectory, I'm telling you, we can sneak off a few wins, and really put ourselves in a good position. We got the Bears after this. Like we can end up making a run, and this is going to be a huge game. I think our guys believe that we can win this game too. So we got to come out. McCarthy's got to just show improvements. Be
dude, we're
detailed
not
at
out.
the line of scrimmage. He was checking out of certain plays last week. We need to see more of that. Just keep getting better. Um, I want to see a little bit more yards. I want to see a little bit more completions. And his stats are pretty much identical from his first start and then that start last week. But there was a screen play to Aaron Jones over for like 20 yards. They counted that as a run. So like he would have put up like about, and then Jefferson, they overturned a catch that was supposedly not a catch, but it looked like a pretty clean catch to me. I mean, we get screwed every week on these catches. It's ridiculous at this point. So, I mean, he could have had about 180, 190 yards passing, a little bit better stats. But from the pocket, JJ's really good. And our line is getting healthy. And the Ravens, they're not the best at pressuring quarterbacks. That's why they traded
That's
for buddy out of San Diego, Odua, whatever, dude, whatever. I don't
Las
care.
Vegas.
He's literally
Los
gonna be
Angeles.
clamped. We got two All-Pro tackles. This is our game to win. This is honestly our game to win and put up some points and for JJ to kind of break out. Yeah, the Ravens defense might be getting a little bit better, but JJ McCarthy's getting a little better too, baby. So watch out. I think we win this game.
Hey, Get we win this game, bro. A struggling Bears team, come on. And then the
Come
Packers,
on.
we don't know what they're going to be. The Packers might be coming off a loss to the Philadelphia Eagles down in the
No one's
dumps.
sold on the Packers. No
Why
one's sold
not?
on the Packers.
Why not? We've already beat them once. Why can't we do it again? And then Seattle, come on, Seattle. This might be a trap game for
That's a
Seattle
tough
because they're
one.
looking
Yeah.
forward. And then the Commanders, they're sorry right now. No quarterback. The Cowboys aren't looking good at all. And then the Giants, JB, we're alive. They're
We're alive.
we're 4-4. JB, we're 4-4, and there's 8 games left. And we only need to win 6 to get in the playoffs.
It
Boy, when
feels
I look at this schedule, JB, I'm thinking there's 6 games that we can definitely win. Come on.
Hey, it feels like there's a win streak coming. Ever since KOC's been in here, what do? We get on a little win streak, 2, 3, 4 game win streak, or even better. We've done that multiple times. So I feel a win streak coming on here, and it might revamp the entire fan base. It might revamp myself, but this game on Sunday is huge to get that started.
Here we go,
I
boys.
already
Tune in
started it
Monday.
last week.
Overreaction Monday.
Hey,
6:30 Mountain Standard Time. Oh boy, do we need this Minnesota Vikings team to win so bad. 2 teams that stink though. Cleveland Browns and New York Jets battle it out for probably the battle for the first round pick is what it seems like. It seems like that's the way it's heading. Do we see Shador Sanders? Maybe.
I think
It
it's
seems
too
like
early.
Stefanski's trying everything in the world not to get this guy on the field, but maybe it gets loud enough to where we see Shador's debut, especially against the New York Giants. I mean, the New York Jets. Let's just say in a situation where it's 10-0 and we're coming out of the half and the Browns stink it up on the first drive. That's when I would expect Stefanski to slide in Shador Sanders. If he even gets to suit up, it's like somehow, some way, Shador's all of a sudden hurt. That's what, at least that's what they've been telling us. Luckily, Shador hasn't taken it to the media to really tell us what's going on. But that would probably be what some people are saying. Maybe he's maturing. Maybe he's maturing. But let's give the guy an opportunity because what's being trotted out there right now gives Browns fans zero hope, zero hope. And it's different when you're in a situation like the Giants where it's like you you kind of know what to look forward to. With the Cleveland Browns, you're just like, I feel like Cleveland Browns are almost like, well, can we just throw Deshaun Watson out there at this point? Like, let's see what happens. Like, no hope, zero hope for that. I mean, people are talking about the team getting moved out of Cleveland completely. That's how bad. That's how down bad they are out there. But one thing they do have to look forward to would be Quentin Junkins, right? That'd be our standout player in Cleveland that gives them life. Njoku came out and said, I love Cleveland. I want to be here. So there's players that enjoy it, but they just want to change it into some winning ways. And the last time we won, we had Baker Mayfield and we shipped him out of town. Come on, bless this team, football gods, and allow them to make a move that just gives them a little bit of sense of life. A little bit of sense of life. You know, a lot of people critique Jerry Jones, but one thing Jerry does do is he gives us enough hope to believe that we have an opportunity to get in the dance. Because at the end of the day, all we want to do is that Victor Cruz, a little bit of salsa when it comes January, February. We're really just January, but you know what I mean, JB. That's all we want to do. Who you got winning this game? Cleveland Browns or New York Jets?
I think with what the Jets have done, shipping those guys out of town, morale might not be the best right now. Obviously, offense is struggling. Defense is not playing was not playing good in the first place. Maybe some guys step up, but I think this is a game for the Browns to win, to establish a good run game. Judkins should have a solid game. They should use him in the game plan a lot, and I think the Browns pull this one off. They should win this game.
I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't agree with you more. I hope we see Shador. The game of the weekend, the game of Sunday. Definitely the game of the morning games. This is the best game of the morning slate at 11 a.m. kickoff time in Roswell, New Mexico. You got the New England Patriots heading over to Tampa Bay to face Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers, where maybe, possibly, we could see the return of Bucky Irving. It's yet to be determined. He did not practice yesterday. He still's got that foot and shoulder injury. Chris Godwin still also hurt as well. So how much of them are we going to see, or are we going to see them at all? But Drake May has put himself up in the MVP conversation and looks to be exactly what we were told he was going to be, which is a Josh Allen 2.0. At least that's what I was reading of him coming out of college. What his college preview was in comparison would have been Josh Allen. I do like the trajectory that they're heading, but damn, man, they got Mike Vrabel. It's hard not to be amped up about this Patriots team. I actually think this Patriots team goes over to Tampa Bay and gets the upset because of the brother, Mike Vrabel just completely flipped this organization from the shithole that it was that Bill Belichick left. And talk about the downfall of Bill Belichick, the way he's being looked at now, even after all the success he had for 20 years there in New England. But that's a whole nother story. Mike Vrabel switching up this New England Patriots team to come back, and now everybody's like, "This is the Patriot way." It's like they established it's not the Patriot way, baby. It's the Mike Vrabel way. We've seen him have success with almost a complete IR team out there in Tennessee and still get the number one seed and get into the playoffs. How did we not see this coming, JB? How did we not see this coming from Mike Vrabel and the New England Patriots? And who you got winning?
You know, after that hot start by the Bucks, I mean, it feels like we haven't seen them play in forever, so we might be sleeping on them a little bit, like mentally. But Baker kind of was a little bit inconsistent.
That happens after a bye week too much, huh?
Yeah,
It's like we don't see them play for a week, and we're just like, are they really that good? Like, can
yeah,
they
like,
keep
come
up
on.
the momentum? It's like,
Like,
what?
I think they're still solid, but there's some pressure on the Bucks now. Panthers are not far behind. They're not far behind. Panthers look like they're going to win this game. They should win this game. So the Bucks, there's some pressure on the Bucks to win this game, and you're going up against a tough opponent. That defense is good. It's solid. It's solid in New England, and they're making plays offensively. I would bet on the Patriots on this one. I think I would take the Patriots.
Borba. So as you mentioned, what a call! What a call, JB, with the Carolina Panthers. They got to win this weekend. Look at this Tampa Bay schedule. So they only got a 2-game lead over the Carolina Panthers in the division. So remember how we said earlier how we were all excited about the Baker Mayfield comeback games, winning it there in the fourth quarter, and we kind of said how that may will. The question that I asked you at the time was, do we think that maybe this stuff is just happening a little too early? Would you prefer these types of games to be in the second half of the season rather than the first half of the season? Did this team peak a little too early? Maybe not, probably not, which is why they were having those close games. But when we look at the schedule here, coming off a bye week, let's remind you, they are coming off a bye week. So I think that might give them a slight edge over this Patriots team. But this Patriots team is running hot. But JB, next week they go over to Buffalo. That's going to be tough. So all of a sudden, I don't want to say this is a must win, but this definitely makes the cheeks a little tight out there in Tampa Bay. Because next week you got Buffalo. Guess who they have after that? They got the Rams in Los Angeles. And then after that, they got the Arizona Cardinals, which you told me last week. This team is a lot better than their record shows. And they went out and showed it, and they showed the efficiency of bringing in Jacoby Brissett as their starting quarterback, which they did announce as of today. And then all of a sudden, Kyler Murray's put on the IR, but that was after Jacoby Brissett was already named the starter. So that's a whole story brewing out there in Arizona. But maybe that's the one thing that triggers this Arizona team to go on a run. So now we're looking at this Bucs schedule, and we're looking at four games that are going to be rough. You at least want to come out of that patch 2-2, I would think, right? At minimum 3-1, or at minimum 2-2, but at best 3-1. But let's say they drop those games, right? Let's say they go on a little bit of a losing streak. Boy, oh boy, is it going to get loud. And all the praises and all the highs that we had for Baker Mayfield may come down pretty heavy. So this game all of a sudden turned in, as you said, this feels like a must win almost.
Yeah, it does. It does. And with the Bucks having a hot start at the beginning, remember they were barely edging out these games. Baker Mayfield had to put a lot on his back on the last drive of these games for them to even pull it off. So there's some pressure on him. There's some pressure for sure. And honestly, like we've seen Baker, yeah, he made the playoff run with the Bucks last year and all that kind of stuff, but he's one of those quarterbacks that's in a tier that's like right above, like right below elite, with the guys that are elite in the league. He's in that, right under it, because these are the type of, he needs to carry this team. He's got to elevate this team a little bit more than what we've been seeing. So, I don't think they can afford to lose, to drop that many games. Yeah, Panthers are threatening, in the background a little bit, lingering, breathing over the shoulder. But we got to see Baker Mayfield improve certain areas, be a little bit more accurate. Just make plays. You got to get a little bit better, because right now you're in that tier where, I would almost put it back in the day, like almost a Kirk Cousins tier, like below the elite guys, but still like good. I don't even know if because right now you got Dak, who's a good regular season quarterback. I still think Baker might even be a little bit below that. You know what I mean? I think he's right below
Yeah.
Dak. And yeah, he's been clutch and this and that, but we got to see a little bit more out of the passing game. I feel like, yeah.
Also, also a little subtle jab at Dak, but also when we say, Dak right here, good. Let's remember, great regular season quarterback, like let's not close the gap. Like we've only seen this from Baker for a year. Like it's very possible that we see a decline,
for a
and
couple
then what are we gonna look back and say, wow, we were comparing that to Dak? There's a time where the same conversations were happening about Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott. So all I'm pausing this is to tell you, like, let's have a little more respect for Dak. Let's not be the Draymond Greens of the world and sound like a complete jackass.
I didn't disrespect him. He's right here. And then you got the other guys. You got Josh Allen.
No, but it's not even that
right
close.
Here. Right here. There's a gap. I don't care what anybody says.
There's the gap. All right, there we go. Ooh, that's a nice
gap.
little lineup.
And then right under that,
displaying on it.
This is Josh Allen, Mahomes, all these guys up here. Dak, Baker. That is, I'll put that much respect on it. Because Baker did make this team a playoff team again. They had a one bad year. Bring in Baker. He turned around his career, everything like that.
Yep, mind you. Nah, I'm not gonna defend Dak right now, because then we're gonna go. We only got 2 minutes here. All right, JB, quick picks. Let us know real quick who's gonna win, Arizona or Seattle.
Gotta take Seattle, the hot hand. Hot.
Seattle.
Advanced metrics have him as the best quarterback in the league right now.
And they just got Shaheed. That team is gonna be buzzing. The 12th man. That place is gonna be romping. That's a 2:00 game. That might be the game to watch at 2:00. All right, you got San Francisco 49ers and Los Angeles Rams. Who you got winning that game?
I want the Rams to win. Give me the Rams because 49ers, they're hurt. They're more in the wild card. We need the 49ers to drop a few games.
Yeah.
Not gonna
That
lie.
would be good for us. That would be good for us. That felt like a very biased pick by both of us,
Very
but
biased.
it does feel like the Mac Jones, the magic is starting to wear off just a little bit. He is
Yeah,
getting the start.
Rams are just very
So
well
good.
coached. They got a very good offense, very good defense. I think they're third in defense this year. Their offense is top 5
Young.
or so. They're the least
Buzzing.
penalized team. I mean, they've got everything to make a run, a deep run this year. I think they're the best team in the NFC. You got the
I was-
Eagles, of course, but
I was talking to E-Rob about it whenever that trade happened for the Eagles, bringing in Jair and Phillips, and that was my initial reaction. Is like right now the only team that feels like that can beat this that I can look at and be like, I might take the Rams. Like it's the one team where you look at the matchup and you're just like, oh boy, can the Eagles beat the Rams? Instead of trying to talk your way into how the Rams would beat the Eagles, I feel like it's in reverse. You almost look at the Rams as the superior team in this situation because of no one other than Mr. Matthew Stafford. I'm going to go ahead and take the Rams to win this game as well.
Stafford
Another
is
quick
an
pick for
MVP
us,
race
JB.
too.
Detroit or Washington?
Detroit, Washington, huge blow. Jaden Daniels out. I mean, the offense was already struggling. I don't think you have much of a passing game, so give me Detroit. They bounce back for sure.
Hell yeah. And then the Sunday night game. And we'll cover the Monday night game, the Eagles and Packers. We'll cover that on Overreaction Monday. But we'll end with this one. The Pittsburgh Steelers heading over to Los Angeles, head-to-head against the Chargers, where the Chargers they already lost their best left tackle at the very beginning or before the season even started. And now they lost their second best left tackle, who mind you, came from the right side. And now he's on the left side, strong side, but he's out for the rest of the season. We've seen what this Chargers team looks like when they are missing their best offensive lineman. And I think the struggles continue. I think Pittsburgh maybe have finally found a groove from last week. Did it I mean they put it down on a hell of an offense. I know they barely won, so I would expect that offense. I think all the pressure in the world is on Aaron Rodgers in that offense. Like the quick game is fun, the little checkdowns is fun, but we want to see this offense be explosive. You didn't go make a trade for a running back. So you're telling me that you believe Jalen Warren is going to get you to the promised land. And we have to see that this weekend. In order for us Pittsburgh fans, let me put my Pittsburgh hat on. In order for us to be excited about this team going forward, we have to see the potential of that offense. Not what we had last week. I know last week we came out with a big win. We had 6 turnovers from the defensive side of the ball. But the one thing that I took away from that game is we had 6 turnovers and only had 27 points from the offense. How? How was that game not a blowout? How did that game turn into even be a close game there coming in the fourth quarter? You talk to Cheech, Raider fan, big Raider fan, and he says, we get real conservative. Mike Tomlin always gets conservative whenever he has a lead. It's like he doesn't know how to play with one. So he's always causing his team to somehow be in close games when it should and does feel like a blowout, or it should feel like a blowout. I do still have Pittsburgh Steelers. I have them winning this game. I think they go on a run, but I think most importantly, that left tackle for the Chargers, we're going to see it kind of glorified at its best this weekend. Who do you got winning?
Yeah, I think without having Joe Alt out there, that offense was struggling, and that's where they dropped games. The Chargers dropped a few games, and so I think they got a lot to figure out. And this is a bad matchup for them when it comes to that, because that front should put in some work. T.J. Watt should make some plays. Hayward, those guys, they should make some plays in the front, and they're going to put a lot of pressure on Justin Herbert. And I think
Have
the
a field
Steelers
day.
get away with a win in this one for sure because of that. I don't know if this is the downfall of the Chargers or if they struggle. How are they going to overcome that offensive line issue? And I just think this is a first week bad matchup. They might be a little bit more prepared for it now because they know what they got, as the backups and know how to game plan. But they did struggle with Joe Alt out. So I think they might struggle a little bit again. So I got to see it to believe it if they are really going to be hanging around in the playoffs. So this is a big game for them. But I think the Steelers win this game.
Yep. I couldn't agree. I couldn't agree with you more. To me, the bet to make this weekend is a TJ Watt sack. I don't know what the line is. I'll look at it after the show and I'll post it. But I think that is the bet to make. A TJ Watt sack feels like a guarantee to me, and I hope it feels like a guarantee to you. Guys, I appreciate you guys joining us and waking up with us this morning. We'll be back Monday for Overreaction Monday, 6:30 Mountain Standard Time, where you can also call in and let us know your frustrations or your happiness, your joy at 575-808-9307. JB, I appreciate you joining me all this week. You had a hell of a run this week. JB, you had a hell of a run this week, man. Good. You should be proud of yourself. Good job. Good job. It was a rough week, but a great week. Tim Foley came back on, educated us on college football. Let us know, hey, guess what? Texas is probably back. Miami teams stink. There's a whole slate of college football. Will we be able to watch it? I don't know, because ESPN seem to not be able to figure out a deal with YouTube TV. Greedy BAB. You know what I'm trying to say. Greedy punks, man. Greedy punks out there right now. Figure it out. Give us our sports back. Appreciate you guys rocking with us. Let's go out and have a day. Be a friend. Tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Shout out PMS. See ya.